And Ivan Thomas, and you are here at the DETV studios. So tonight we're gonna have a more of an interactive conversation going on. A lot of people are talking about the vaccine, being vaccinated with the COVID-19 vaccine, and I am super. I want to hear what you have to say. So tonight, while we have this conversation, remember this conversation is open to everybody. So feel free to just jump in. If you want to jump in, give me a wave or something, say something so I can actually send the link to you. Again, I'm your amazing host tonight, Ivan Thomas, and I'm going to bring on some friends of mine to talk about this vaccine, and why people are scared to get it and why they believe people aren't scared to get it. So the first person I'm going to bring on tonight. Wait a minute, one sec. The first person I want to bring on tonight is my girl Cam. Cam, what's going on? How you doing tonight?
I'm good. Ive, how are you?
I'm good. I am good. I am super excited about this today's conversation.
Thanks. Well,
And you are here in the sole capacity of Cam Smith.
this
No other
me.
organization, nothing else,
Nope.
just Cam Smith.
Yes.
So I wanted to ask you, like, what are the things that you're hearing in the street, like in the community about the vaccine?
I'm hearing that it happened too quickly. The vaccine came too quick. I'm hearing that it hasn't been tested. I'm hearing just stuff that happened in our history that people are just hesitant and reluctant to just take part in it. And they want to wait to the next, like maybe like the next round. Like let's just wait this out and see how this goes down, and then come check me out on the second round. That's what I'm hearing the most of.
Would you say? Would you say? Check me out on the second round. Uh, so,
Check me out and come back full circle.
oh gosh. So let me. I'm gonna bring in Jordan Hines also. Jordan, what's going on, man?
What's going on, Hi?
How's everything with you?
I'm great, man. Thanks for having
Oh,
me. How are
oh,
you,
thanks for
Cam?
coming.
I'm good, Jordan. How are you doing?
I'm
So, so,
great. Like,
so, Jordan, what are you hearing about the COVID-19 vaccine? Some of the things that you're hearing as a millennial. Let's get that right, Cam, because I want to talk because he's a millennial, right? So I want to know what the millennials are talking about.
yeah. So I would agree with Cam, but I will say it's mixed messages that I'm hearing. There's quite a few people that are apprehensive about it, mainly because of, as Cam put, how fast it came. But then I'm hearing individuals that are just like, listen, hey, I got to do it to protect not just myself, but my family as well.
That
Um,
too.
uh, so I understand both messages and both concerns, um, but it is what it is, and folks are entitled to make their decision. I'm just encouraging everyone to make the right decision for them, for themselves, and stay masked up, because just because you just got vaccinated today, that doesn't mean this we are in the clear.
I
That's right.
know that's right. You know what? I totally just so excited about the conversation. I totally forgot to give a shout out to our sponsor for the night, and that's the House of Laughs over at Gundy Jacobs. So thank you so much, Gundy. Wait a minute. Let me get over there.
Yep.
Thank you so much, Gundy House of Laughs, for sponsoring
Hey.
tonight's Facebook Live. We really appreciate it. Make sure you check them out. Okay, let's get back to it. Bam. So, are you both taking the shot, getting vaccinated?
Yes.
I have.
You have.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Which one did you take, Kim?
Pfizer.
Pfizer. And Jordan, you're going. Are you going to take it?
I'm going to. I'm going to. Yes. Yeah.
Are you scared? Are you scared? Are you
I'm apprehensive. I'm not gonna lie. I'm one of those millennials that's a little, but I'm going to get it done. I'm definitely
now?
going to
What's
get
your
it done.
what's your fear? Let me hear that. What is with the fear that you have, Jordan?
Well, fear is just false evidence appeared real. That's my acronym for fear. Number one. But then you can't allow social media and others' opinions to dictate your fear. But I will say that some of that has played a role at times. You got to pay attention to the science. So you can't argue with science. But to answer your question on fear, I think it comes from when you see or hear early on in the game when the vaccine comes out from Pfizer, and the CEO of Pfizer is talking about he's not even getting it done. That gave me some pause there for a minute. But
hold up. Wait a minute. He said that?
I, I'm not making that up, and that could be just all in this vein of social media putting clips out. I know not to watch little snippets here and there, but when you catch little stuff like that, it's a little concerning. But that's why I lean towards more of the science versus public opinion. So to answer your original question, that's what originally gave me fear. But you got to focus more on the science, not on the opinions of others. So,
What do you think? What do you think? What's your thoughts, Cam?
Well, for me, it was pretty much the same. I needed to do my own research. I needed to figure it out for myself and not lean on other people's opinions. Yes, I did speak to people so that I can try to get some insight. And that was just people that I trusted, medical professionals that I trusted, spiritual advisors that I trusted, just to get some insight about it. And like I said, just to do my own research about it and how would that affect my body. And the thing that made me apprehensive was, of course, our history, our cultural history kind of made me apprehensive, like, I'm not really sure what's going to happen to me in the long run. Are you setting me up type of thing? So I did have that thought. But then it was a matter of getting that out of my head and being trustworthy of science and being trustworthy of people trying to make a change. This world's been shut down for so long. It was time for a change. And I wanted to be, just that example for my family. I needed to do it for my family. So I had to do my own research. I looked at what the ingredients were. I looked at everything. I looked up everything. I compared it to some, diagnoses that I have just to see what kind of effects I might have from it. Of course, I couldn't predict it, but I wanted to be prepared. And I think the biggest thing that I feared was how I was going to feel after getting the shot. That's what I feared. I feared feeling ill because I knew in the past when I had the flu shot, I felt ill after, and I didn't want to feel ill. So that
and I think there's something to be said with that, with what Cam's saying, because even me watching some of my close friends, family, mentors, I've been hearing how some folks, when they get that second shot, it's like gruesome for the first few hours, but then after a few hours have passed, they're feeling better. Take a Tylenol and you're feeling great, Jordan. So just go ahead and do it. So, just watching other people's experiences has really, raised eyebrows and also validated some things. So I'm like, okay, well, if it's only for a few hours, I could shake a headache. I think I'd be all right with that. So
no, I got my shot today. All right, I got my first one today, and my arm is starting to hurt. Right, and I'm just waiting for the second one because, like you guys said, like people were saying, the second one is like it's the Hellraiser, right? What I want to get into is are you guys hearing in the African American community the fears and the phobia about I know we hear the Tuskegee experiments and all the experiments that happened, even like with the Haitians and everything like that. Like, do you think people are coming away from that to say, you know what, I'm going to take this vaccine?
I think people are coming away from that. And I'm only seeing that because I've been at vaccine clinics and I see brown and black faces. So I think people are getting to a point where it's like, okay, what's going on today? And I'm seeing us showing up. We are showing up. It might not be all of us, but some of us are showing up. So I do think it's changing.
And I think we've come a long way too. I think we've come a long way from back then when it comes to certain vaccines. So that's why for me, I'm going to speak my truth regardless of how others feel about it. Again, I'm clear on don't run on others' opinions. I will say originally that gave me pause, but stay focused on the science. And Cam's right. I took two of my close family friend to get their first shot over at Salesianum. And the line was wrapped around the corner of all races. It was such a diverse group of individuals. Folks are showing up, and we're ready to get back to a sense of normalcy. So I'm ready to jump in line with that.
I mean, it's been.
I like what Jordan said, Ivan. I really do like it, and I endorse the same thing. Whatever your choice is your choice. whatever that is. And that's none of my business. What your choice is not my business. But I had to make the choice for me, for my
Right.
family. And I was the first so that my family could see,
Right.
they could see, how I took to the vaccine. It's just like, let me go first. Let me see if it's hot, like that type of thing. And they come behind me. So
Yeah.
I totally agree with that. Let's not shame people for not wanting to get it, and let's not shame people for wanting to get it.
Right. Because people, some are hesitant, some are quick to the draw, some are saying, I'm tired of, this year of shutdown. I'm going to make a change. And some people will look at it with the faith, with their side of the faith or whatever they believe in. And also some people are looking at it with their strong, with their belief in science and saying that we've came a long way. And a lot of people are saying, the what is it, 5G, Dennis? Is it like 5G? Like all these misinformed things that we're hearing out there. But you hear President Biden say by July 4th he wants to get everyone vaccinated with this. How much on track do you think that's possible?
I do. I feel like it's possible. I truly do. And I think, a lot of folks have seen a lot in themselves just being locked in the household and wanting this getting back to the sense of normalcy. And I think that goes in line with watching how many people have turned out to when the first initial vaccine came out. I think those go hand in hand and speaks volume to folks that are stepping up and realizing we've got to do better as a society. This is not only just going to help me as an individual, but going to benefit my family. So.
Yeah. And I also think, there are people waiting. There are people waiting to get the vaccine because they are not in this criteria to even get it right now. So we have people who are anxious to get it. Like, when is my turn going to come? I'm ready, and then we don't want people changing their mind because they've had to wait for so long. So, if we can get it done by July 4th and get as many vaccinated as possible, let's go for it. Let's do it.
I was just even reading how, we have gone just with cases alone because of the vaccine. It's gone from 300,000 a day to roughly 70,000 as a baseline, according to Dr. Fauci. And he still even feels that that's still too high. So, just the fact that within a year, we've gone from 300,000 a day to 70, that's something to, look at. And with this vaccine, if it keeps dropping, that's good.
Yeah, you're right. It's
what
good.
has made my heart smile, like when you're at the clinics and you see people rejoicing, you see people celebrating getting the vaccine. Like, people are happy when they
Are you
get.
serious?
Yes,
Yeah.
like it's a celebration, like clapping and yelling and screaming.
Girl,
like,
hush.
yes, we're almost there.
It's like a sigh of relief. You see, I even see my own grandmother. She got it done. She's just like, thank God. Like it's like a weight lifted off their shoulders, and I actually understand that.
Wow. Well, look, we're going to open it up. If you want to come on and talk about how you feel about the vaccine, if you're going to get it, if you're not going to get it, and tell us why. I just put the link in the comments so you could come on and talk to Cam and Jordan and myself. I so want to hear people's reaction, because at first, I'm going to tell you, my experience at first was like, nah, not getting it. Saw the movie, saw I Am Legend. I'm good. Done. I'm good. Right? What do you have, a screen? Like a shield for your screen, Jordan?
Yeah. Listen, these little ring lights.
But yeah, I was that guy, and I'm telling you, I was that guy up until maybe last week, right? That I was like, I'm not going to get it. I was thinking about the stories my father used to tell me about, how they would just round, black people up and just take this shot, and we're trying to see if this works. And and I was like, nah, I'm good.
Yep.
And then I was just like, you know what? I did my research, and someone in the chat said it. Anita said it. I think it was Anita Prada that just said, do your research, and that's very important. I did my research, And like you said, you see so many people taking the vaccine. You see so many people believing in science. And one thing that I do, I believe in science wholeheartedly. So and you can see so much in health right now, and especially special in inequity of health, right? And that's a whole nother topic we could get in on how some people are getting it and some people aren't getting it. But what I do see is some of the health organizations, I'm not going to call them out by name here in Delaware, are actually taking a step to make sure that Black and brown and underserved populations and communities are getting ahead of the line, are getting in the line. So shout out to them. I don't want to say who they are, but you could probably guess who I'm talking about. They are really taking a stand. We only got two, but they're really.
And
taking
I
a stand.
want to even give a shout out to County Exec Matt Meyer, for his contribution. For his contribution. With the Health Equity Committee that I served on, making sure that other nonprofits are addressing COVID right now. Helping with this CARES Act fund. I worked with Alicia Clark and Vanessa Phillips. Just to see how it's benefited the community, I'm just very excited. He's been a true staple in helping with addressing this pandemic.
Now, and shout out to Matt. I love one thing what he's done with the homeless shelter, just alone in Delaware. So shout out with that. I'm gonna ask a question, and I want this is just from me to you, right? And I know everyone is here under the sole purpose of themselves. I want to talk about like how let me see how I should phrase this, because it's like I don't want to like.
Just put it out there. Go ahead.
Just put it out there. Okay.
Just put it out there.
How do we as influencers, because that's who we are, right? We're influencers. Everybody on this call right now are influencers. How do we as influencers or organizations that's in health get people to trust them when it comes to taking the vaccine, when it comes to taking other medicines? How should we go about that? How do you think they should go about that?
I think the first is leading by example.
Yeah.
That's the first. There's a quote that I live by: tell me I'll hear, show me I'll listen, involve me I'll understand. And until you get people involved, they will not understand. And you got to show folks that, there's so many of our elected officials that are leading by example, that they're not just saying get vaccinated, they're getting the shot done. They're showing, like, listen, and they're expressing, this is how I felt after, just you particularly, Ivan, just making it known, like, I just got the first shot, I'm sore, but I'm still here, I'm still standing, I'm still breathing. So it's okay.
Yeah, and you're right. What do you think, Cam?
I agree with that. And I think the other thing is listening. We have to listen. We have to listen to what those, what people are hesitant about, and not draw a conclusion on what they're hesitant about, but listening to that, and then leading by example. Yeah, I think we have we just have to be open to hear and listen, that everybody is not on that same page, and that we can't penalize people because they're not on that same page. So I think it's a matter of listening to keeping your ear to the pavement and listening to what people are feeling.
It's such a movie thing right now. It's such a movie thing. Like, you're like, wait a minute, but then you're like, okay, what do I do? And I'm sitting in the parking lot this morning, right? And I'm like, what do I do? Like, I have the chance to get vaccinated, or I have the chance to go home. You know what I mean? Like, what do I do? And again, like, just thinking about my little girl and thinking about, like, where we are in science today, I'm with it. I'm in. I'm online right now, and we're on 5 different platforms. So one of the text messages, right, that came across, comments, is Tawana Cuffey. Shout out to Tawana. She said, I got my first dose vaccine yesterday, right? So right under that is her husband that says, I'll let y'all take it first and continue the quarantine.
And that's A-okay.
It's okay. That is
Yep, that's
okay.
A-okay. Mhm.
Yep.
Are you
Yep.
guys hearing like couples that are taking, some are taking and the other half aren't? Have you heard that yet?
Mhm. Mhm. Truly, I've
My
seen a
husband
many.
was hesitant. My husband was hesitant too, like, nope. Like in the beginning of the pandemic, when they said that a vaccine was coming in, I was like, nah, miss me on that. I'm good.
Would you say
Nope,
miss
not
me?
doing it.
Miss me.
Not
You're
doing
like,
it.
miss me.
You
Um,
know?
You know what
Nathan
I have to
Durant.
say though, Ivan? I applaud you for even mentioning your daughter. That's deep. You know,
Yeah.
I think that realizing that it's bigger than just yourself.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
realizing it's bigger than just you. I have my
Yeah.
grandmother living with me. You know, it's bigger than just, it's just bigger than her. So,
Right.
and at
Yeah.
her
And if
age,
the pandemic,
it,
if the pandemic didn't teach us anything, it should teach us that.
yeah,
It should
I
teach
truly.
us that.
agree. Tawana said, "We're a divided house." I love those guys; they're amazing.
They
Um,
are amazing.
Nathan said, "Tuskegee was real. That has been that has to be acknowledged, and that's true."
Right.
One thing that Cam and I was talking about earlier, when it comes to having the community, like first of all, let's say this: I had never in my life seen so much attention in media go towards the black and brown community, right? And with all that, a lot of people are very hesitant on everything right now. And when Cam and I were talking earlier about companies and people like have to acknowledge this mistrust first before we move forward. My question to you, Jordan, is how important is it to acknowledge what has happened in the past, and then how do we move forward?
That trust thing is real. It's real, and Cam put it in perspective and just flipped it and put it in the right order. First, listening, and then leading by example, as I had said. And to me, you've got to really, I feel, and County Exec Matt Meyer is an example of this. He went into that community and was wanting, when after I wrote the op-ed, he was quick to be like, all right, who from the community is apprehensive about this, and how can we pull them in and hear what their concerns are and address those, and then built from there. So I think in order to build trust, just as Cam said, you got to listen first. People want to feel heard. They want to
Right.
understand that you understand where they're coming from.
Matter of fact, Jordan, what I'm gonna need you to do is you pull out your cell phone, bro, and hit Matt Meyer up. See if we can get him on the call tonight. You know what I mean? I would love to hear if you're a politician out there in the state of Delaware. I would love to hear if you took the vaccine. I would love to hear your input on it. I know you're watching because everyone watches DETV. I want to hear if you took the vaccine, what you think, and what you should tell the community about taking the vaccine. Or if you're a doctor, anyone out there, give me a thumbs up, scream at me, Ivan, I want to come on. I'll give you the link. I want to hear your opinion and your idea, and whatever. If you was even hesitant about it, I want to hear more about it because this is a good conversation for the evening. It's a conversation that needs to be heard because and everyone's talking about it across the world. Black people, brown people, and vaccinations, and where do we go from there? So you look like you itching to say something, Jordan. You look
Nope.
you look like
No,
you're
I'm
itching.
agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you 100%. Yeah, I working for a health agency. It's there's even this comfortable push and dialogue amongst my colleagues where it's like, hey, here's the information. Just encouraging my colleagues from RED, just always constantly encouraging my colleagues to look into the vaccine. They're not making a mandate, they're not pushing, but they continue to educate. And I love seeing that, not just with whom I work for, but other agencies are doing that as well. So encouraging each other to, here's resources and things for you to look into, to do your own research.
Hey, Cam, are you hearing the same? Hearing the same thing with
Yep,
other organizations?
same thing. Same thing. I wanted to say this. So when the pandemic happened, like prior to the pandemic, I was always on the front line,
Mm-hmm.
always.
Mm-hmm.
But when the pandemic happened, I was in a whole different position, so I wasn't on the front line anymore. So I didn't
Right.
have that. I knew something was happening, but I didn't have that firsthand information about everything that was happening. I watched a TV show and they talked about, like, they came back from COVID and they put everything so in perspective for me. And I think that was one of the deciding factors for me. Just seeing that television show put me like over the edge because it brought me to tears. It brought me to tears to see people in an emergency room dying from um, from this from not being vaccinated, from not from the pandemic alone. And it threw me over. It just threw me over the edge. I was like, I have to get vaccinated because people are dying. Like they are dying. And to see the rate of them dying really,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
tore my
that
heart
was
up.
alarming, wasn't it? Just to
It
see
was
like in the early
alarming.
part of last year, you're seeing people like again movie like stuff, right? You're seeing people dying from 10 to hundreds to thousands a day, and then the fact of the matter, my mother caught COVID, right, and my sister caught COVID, and my mother had to quarantine at my sister's house and check this with a pit bull that my mom was scared of, and I couldn't even go see her. Right, the dog and my mom had began this beautiful relationship. Like she was watching out for my mother. Right, my sister on the other hand was on a respirator, a ventilator, right, and it was a scary thing, and I remember when my sister was on the ventilator, my mom was like, "I can't lose my baby," right? It made me realize about everyone else out there that are losing their loved ones. And there
Yeah.
was a story, I think in New York, where someone passed of COVID. The coroner did not come and get him because of COVID, and that body still had to be in the house. Like those, like you said, Cam, those are the stories that change your mind. Those
Yeah.
like where we are in the human race, and that we can't even mourn or grieve, like during this time. And there's so many people, and my heart goes out. I can speak on the behalf of all of us. Our hearts go out and our prayers go up to you, because we don't know how you did it. We don't know how you're holding on, but we're just sending good vibes your way and prayers your way. The hope that you get through this. But yeah, that was a changing point in my life. How
Yeah.
about you, Jordan? What was the changing point in yours?
It was you actually you hit a you hit the nail on the head with that one, because I attended probably 3 or maybe 4 funerals during this pandemic. Last year, I haven't attended any in 2021, but last year probably about 3 or 4, and it broke my heart going to funeral services, and I couldn't even embrace the person that had a loss. And I'm very big on showing how much I care about a person with just a simple hug or a handshake, and it just hurt, because I want that person to know that I'm there. So to be there masked up and seeing them going through it, that was very difficult. That was very difficult to have to experience and watch firsthand.
Yeah, it's a changing point in humanity, and I think right now,
Mhm.
just to go back to this inequity in health and where we go, and I'm going to say it, Cam. I'm going to say it, Jordan. Shout out to Christiana Care. Bam, I said it.
Yeah,
Shout
yeah,
out to Christiana Care, because I
yeah.
see that they're making a heck of a move. And shout out to that CEO over there. What's her name? Cam? Nancy?
Janice.
Janice,
Janice.
Janice,
Yeah,
Janice,
Janice.
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 Yeah,
I'm thinking Nancy, somebody else.
yeah.
Janice, shout out to Janice for standing up and making sure that underserved communities are getting information and getting help that they need, especially in this time. I got a special guest coming on, y'all. I got somebody
Oh,
Oh,
coming
okay.
on. I'm just waiting for them the link in. Um,
Uh,
um, so
didn't you
right
have
now,
Ivan? Didn't you have Dr. Coker on your show?
I have everybody on this show, Jordan.
Yeah,
Everybody.
and Dr. Coker, she's been holding it down too.
She's been
For this,
her and her crew. I'm gonna say her crew.
Dr. Sydney Teal, they've been doing it.
Yeah,
they've been really doing it for this community.
Those sisters are amazing in the community right now and moving. Let me just tell you who I got coming on right now. I got Matt Meyer coming on, county executive. Matt Meyer, y'all keep the party going.
There we go.
Y'all keep the party going. I'm just waiting for him to chime in right now. Moving forward, what are your hopes for moving forward after with this COVID vaccine?
I want to go back outside and play.
Yeah.
She looked at me, Jordan. She looked at me like, bruh.
Well, Ivan, I was just with you. Remember, it was a nice day randomly. I was like, I want to go to a park. I want some ice cream. My inner kid was kicking in. It was all nice outside. I'm like, I can't even breathe with this on my face. I want to eat ice cream and slide down a slide. Like, it's just not going to work. Get out of break.
That's so right, Jordan. It's not working.
I got county executive Matt Meyer, everyone. I'm just bring him in right now. Let me see. Boom.
There he is.
There you go. Mr. Matt Meyer, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing all right, no complaints. Sorry about the vertical shot. I just shut down the computer. But it's good to see everyone. How you doing, Jordan?
Good to see
Hey,
you.
how are you, county exec?
Good to see you.
So we're actually live on Facebook right now on
We
a
always
couple
are.
channels.
On
And we're live
DETV,
on-
we always are live. There's
There
no
we
tape
go.
delay. Be careful what you say. Be careful what you say. There's no bleep button. How you guys doing?
Good.
We are actually live on channel 28 as well with this broadcast. So, Matt, we are talking about COVID and the COVID vaccine, why people, why they're scared, why they shouldn't be scared. Let me ask you this. Have you taken the vaccine yet?
I have not. I want to.
Okay.
I got called early on to take it, but it wasn't my turn yet. I was called because I'm an elected official, and I didn't necessarily think that was right. So I haven't gotten it yet. I'm just waiting until my number. I don't think I'm in 1C. It's really important. We have over 2,100 employees. I want every single one of those county government employees to be offered an opportunity to get the shot before I'll get it. But can I say something about safety? What you were saying in the beginning and concerns. If you talk, in fact, I was on the oh my God, Jay. I forget the morning show. I watch it once a week. Jay,
Good Morning Wilmington.
with
Naja
and Jay Street.
Naja and Jay. Thank you, Naja. I'm sorry. I will never forget your name again. But I on there, we talked about the vaccine. I think it was back in January. And I was honest that I was concerned, like new science. Let's be honest. Now, I know there are all sorts of historical concerns and good reasons to be concerned, particularly in communities of color. But even putting that aside, new science is not always good science. We can find all sorts of examples in history when new science didn't work out well. And I was a little weary in January, to be honest. Now it's different. There are hundreds of millions of people across the world who've gotten this thing. I think close to 100 million in the United States. Mm-hmm. There is, other than, sore arms and maybe feeling a little sick for 24, 48 hours in some rare circumstances, there's really not a side effect to speak of. And more importantly, or as importantly, it's really effective, seems to be effective in stopping the virus. There don't seem to be many or any cases of people being hospitalized with the virus after getting this vaccine. So I would get it in a heartbeat if I felt like my number was up and it was my turn. But right now, I'm just trying to encourage people to get it like you are. It's clearly safe. As my mom says, the proof is in the pudding. And I never really was listening. I usually was eating the pudding. But no, I think I look based on just people's experience. And I don't know about you guys. I have quite a few friends, a number of family members who've gotten it now. And other than a sore arm here and there, nobody has a negative experience to speak of.
Yeah, I got a sore arm. I got.
You got it, Ash?
I got it. I got it today. Yep, I got it
Oh.
today. And I was telling the crew. This is my crew. I was telling the crew that I was skeptical at first. You know, all the movies we've seen, all the crazy stuff that we heard. But you know, just looking in my daughter's eyes, and then looking at humanity in itself, and then looking at the science behind it. I was like, you know what? I'm in. I'm 100% in. Let's go. Let's rock and roll. You know what I mean? The worst thing that can happen, I get faster. You know what I mean? I run faster. But other than that, yeah, I'm all the way in. Matt, I want to, first of all, while we're on here, I have you on here, I want to give you a crazy shout out, man, for the human side of you that did this amazing thing and purchased the Sheraton for a homeless, I don't even want to call it a shelter, just a second chance of getting back together, because they just don't go and lay there. There are other things that's going on. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, think for a minute about the things that you've learned in the past year. Like, think about where you were, because we're just about on the 1-year anniversary of the first cases in Delaware. Like, how has your life changed in the last year, and how has it made you stop and reflect on things? I've always seen it as my job to treat, the individual on the street corner at a traffic light begging me for money. He's my boss, just like some multi-millionaire, making campaign contributions. They each have one vote. And so I need to serve each of those individuals equally. I've always believed that. I think during the pandemic, because it was this invisible virus traveling around, it didn't know race or class or neighborhood. You really get a sense we're all in this together. And still, it's a matter with the vaccine too. Until we can get enough people to get this vaccine, we're going to be kind of stuck wearing these masks, quarantining, not able to go to the restaurants we love, not able to go see the ball games that we love to go see. So we're all in it together. So we need to think in new creative ways about how we're going to take care of each other. And so if, for example, in a homeless population, in a homeless shelter, there's an outbreak of COVID, that actually has a direct impact on everyone's life, every community in Delaware. So more than usually, we got to look out for each other. So that's sort of what started our thinking about what creative things can we do to protect the most vulnerable. Thanks to Representative Blunt Rochester, Senator Carper, Senator Coons, they fought hard in Washington, as Jordan Hines knows well. Let me call out Jordan for a minute. In the course of talking about how to protect the most vulnerable, he wrote an op-ed in Delaware Online. Not to be too critical of Delaware Online or of Jordan, but I've written those op-eds, and not everybody reads those op-eds. I'm not sure if I read it just reading the newspaper. It was shown to me. It basically said that, hey, it was at a point where we were realizing, I think it was in May or June of last year, where we said, wait a second, there are serious health inequities. We've known about them for generations, but now they're very clear for people to see in numbers of hospitalization and deaths and viral counts. And we need to do something about it right now. And he called on the governor, I think, to put together a commission. So we didn't just put together a commission, we put together a task force. We put dollars behind it. And of course, we put Jordan on it. So you can't just talk the talk, you got to walk the walk. And so this Sheridan purchase was the product of a task force like that said, hey, we need to do something like this to protect the most vulnerable.
Well, you're doing a heck of a job, man. And again, the community really appreciates you. What I love about Wilmington is how people from different backgrounds, from different shades and different hues will come together for the humanity of people that are in need. And you guys, you three that are on here right now, you guys are simply amazing, and we really appreciate you guys here for everything that you're doing. We're gonna get out of here. I think that we did a good thing tonight, and my name's Ivan Thomas. I'm here with Cam Smith, Jordan Hines, and County Executive Matt Meyer. Three amazing human beings that have capes in their closets. They don't pull them out. They usually just tuck them and just keep on moving. And is it easy for me, or can I say that all three of us, all four of us, are with the COVID vaccine? Can I say that?
Yes.
There you have it.
Yes.
If you have any question about getting the COVID vaccine, I'm gonna give you one doctor, right? Dr. Joan Coker. Call her. Right?
Yep. I've been sending everybody to Dr. Joan, everyone. Call Dr. Coker. You ain't
call
alone.
Dr. Coker.
Call Dr. Coker.
One thing that we're doing with DETV, so if you're downstate, you're going to be seeing a lot of COVID messaging going from DETV downstate now. We're happy to be in Sussex and in Kent County. We are making a move to make sure that all communication, and we're actually starting DETV Latino real soon to make sure that we get information out to the Latino and Haitian Creole population as well downstate. Again, everyone on this call, thank you so much for showing up tonight. You guys rock. When I call, you answer. Matt, you are the number one guy that I call and I could text and you be like, I'm on. I'm good. Let's rock and roll. So Matt, again, thank you. Cam, I salute you. And Jordan, you my man. I'll holler at you. This is DETV. You're here with Ivan Thomas, and I will see you on the other side. Go get your shot. Go get it. You will be fine. Trust me. I'm cool. I'm loving